share this with the others who wanted to be here but can't be. So welcome, welcome. Tonight we are talking about the business opportunity with dōTERRA, and feel free to ask questions along the way. I am going to, let me see here. I'm going to make sure we're all muted. So just unmute yourself if you need to ask a question, and I'll be happy to answer. And let's get going. So who is dōTERRA is the question. And let me make sure that that's off the screen. So they are really the world's largest essential oil company. They are privately held, which is really important to know. They have no interest in becoming a company that's publicly traded. They are completely debt-free. They are have over $1 billion in assets. They have over 7 million customers globally, 3,200 corporate employees, and they have offices in 16 countries. And this picture here in the background is actually their place in Utah. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene there. So any of you that are going to be headed up to convention this year should definitely go and take a visit. So after hearing all of that, the real question is about really, right? Who is dōTERRA? So what makes us unique? Why would you want to partner with us? Well, the mission of dōTERRA is to change the world, one drop, one person, one community at a time. Their vision is to have essential oils in every home, provided through millions of wellness advocates. And the reason that they've chosen direct selling as their marketing strategy, because it focuses the most on people, where people can build relationships. It's easy for people to be in homes, to show people how to use the oils, and to provide proper education. When oils are just sold on shelves, it is really difficult to be able to do that. So there are a lot of possibilities. This is just a quick shot of all of our different ranks within dōTERRA and the different average monthly earnings for each rank. So one of our lowest ranks is Elite, and they earn around $365 a month, up to one of our top ranks, a Presidential Diamond. They earn an average of 104 plus thousand a month. And there's a few different ways to get paid. That's not really what this meeting is about. I'm not going to talk about the ways to get paid. I'm just going to talk about why you want to partner with dōTERRA and earn money with them. So dōTERRA is really about having a culture of sharing and caring for others, and really caring for the world at large. In 2008, you can see is when they started, and then this is sort of a graph of our global sales all the way up into what's projected for 2019. So it took us 8 years to hit $1 billion in sales, and then we hit $2 billion within just the next 3 years, and right now it's projected that we will hit $3 billion in 2 years. So that just really demonstrates the growth, right? How quickly it is growing and growing. If you've been paying attention at all, we've had a lot of athletes and people that are more public, and movie stars even, kind of come along and see the value of dōTERRA. We have a few performance advocates, which you can see here on the screen. And brand recognition. So if you've heard anybody say like, it's too late, right? I missed the boat on dōTERRA. They have paid a company to do a survey for them, and it was found that only 8 in every 100 people in the US have ever even heard of dōTERRA. So that just shows you the opportunity that exists. And even further than that, only 2 in every 100 people in the US have ever even purchased a dōTERRA product. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity. The US market, this is a map of our penetration so far. So these are the top 5 metro areas by market penetration. They started in Utah. So you can see 3 of the 5 are there in Utah. We've got 1 up in Idaho, and then the other one is over in Hawaii. These are the top 5 metro areas by sales. So actually top sales, you can see it's in a different spot, a little more spread out. California's got 2 of those. And then we're over there in New Jersey and Georgia. And then here's the Canada market penetration. So these are the top 5 provinces of market penetration, meaning where they have the most people that are using the products. And then these are their top 5 provinces by sales. So a couple of the penetration spots are also the highest in sales. So there are 4 different pillars to doTERRA and what they're building. They are Healing Hands Foundation, that's their nonprofit organization. Co-impact sourcing, that's their commitment to how we actually source our oils and how we take care of the people that do that hard work of growing those plants for us. CPTG, which is the certification of our oils, that's the standard of which we hold the purity of oils to. And then the 4th one is the Prime Meridian Health Clinics, which I'm really excited to talk to you about tonight. Let's talk a little bit about Healing Hands Foundations. So you can see that the contribution revenue has gone up in just from 2017 to 2018. And then they've even broke it down for you of where the donations went versus the percentage to projects and the percentage to partners. They work with Operation Underground Railroad, which is working to end sex trafficking. They also work with a nonprofit called Days for Girls, and they provide hygiene kits to girls all over the world in third world countries. And there's just a ton of things that they're involved in. It's a fantastic organization that does a lot of good around the world. This is a list. Just look at all of these projects that were completed in 2018 and 2019. These are all projects that were headed up by wellness advocates in doTERRA. So people that were out just wanting to do good in the world, and they've partnered up with doTERRA to help support the good that they were doing individually. And then this is a little bit talking about the co-impact sourcing trips that we have going on. That top right picture is of Emily, one of our owners, with a woman in Nepal. They were there shortly after the earthquake to help kind of rebuild and clean things up and provide a lot of medical kits with oils and different supplies in there. And these co-impact sourcing trips are just an awesome opportunity to come to where doTERRA is working directly with these farmers and distilleries and to do service projects in that area. So there's an opportunity if you want to go on one of those. You can enter a lottery. The lottery for Guatemala and Kenya, those 2 lotteries are still open if you're interested on joining on a trip. It's pretty cool. And then they're all about social responsibility. So like I mentioned, they work directly with farmers, harvesters, distillers, and they're doing that very intentionally, not only for a purity standpoint to make sure that they've got their hands in the growing and sourcing of all of the plants that we use for essential oils, but also with an intention to do good. I've heard one of the owners say that they could easily make this a very big operation that's completely industrialized and still produce a pure essential oil, but they choose to work with small family farms in order to actually create change around the world, to provide jobs and job security and good food, health, access to school, education, all of that by partnering with these smaller farmers. So pretty cool. Quality starts long before the seeds are planted. And so what they've done in partnering with these smaller farms and distilleries, they've provided over 100,000 jobs, which has in turn impacted over 500,000 lives. Our sourcing comes from all over the world. So here's a map of where we get our oils from all over the world. And a big chunk of our oils are from third world countries. So it's really important to do good and take care of the people that are working hard to create that. And then they also have this global botanical network that they work with all over the world, which a lot of these are distilleries. And this is just kind of breaking down their sourcing investments. So they've actually invested over 110 million to date just on the sourcing related acquisitions, partnerships, and other investments to just secure the essential oil supply chains globally and exclusively. So many of our oils and the people that we work with are actually in a contract with doTERRA that they exclusively provide essential oil to doTERRA only, which is really exciting and important to know, because if any other company out there is claiming that they've got the same frankincense source that we do, quite frankly, it's just not true. And then I'm just going to kind of touch on the tests that are completed on each sample so you understand how committed this company is to purity. So there's 54 tests completed on each sample of oil. 43 of those tests occur in-house with doTERRA's science department, and 11 of those tests occur at a third party. We use APRC, which stands for Aromatic Plant Research Center. They conduct the tests for us on the oils as well. And these are just all of those tests, crazy names. I totally have no idea what most of these are, but our wonderful scientist friend, Miss Peely, that's on, probably knows a lot of those. So very cool. This I love. So the APRC actually has tested oils for more than 50 companies, including from direct sellers, online retailers, and retail stores. The results of that, there were only 3 companies that have consistently pure oils. doTERRA is one of the 3. And what this means is 95% of the people out there producing essential oils are selling adulterated oils. They actually told us that the other 2, one is like a mom and pop shop that are on the brink of bankruptcy because of how expensive this is to provide pure essential oils, especially when you're a really small company like them. And the other is an online retailer, and they said most of us have probably never even heard of them. They're also a really small operation. So of all the oils tested from these companies, and some have had all of their oils tested, 80% of the oils sold are adulterated. There are some reputable social media focused companies that were 100% adulterated, and other large companies are 50% or more adulterated. And just examples of common adulteration were inclusion of carrier oils without labeling that the carrier oils are in there, mislabeled species. You know, sometimes they can say it's use cinnamon leaf but sell it as cinnamon bark, and it's cheaper to do that. Same thing with cheaper form of peppermint or frankincense, using aromatic chemicals, synthetic fragrances and chemicals. Some of the oils are 95 to 100% complete fabrications, which means they're just being made in a lab by a trained perfumist to smell like they are pure. And the typical process of essential oils coming to the market looks like this. It goes from a farmer to a distiller to the in-country broker and perfumist, and then it goes over to a US or a Europe broker and perfumist. Then it goes to the company, and then the company sells it to the consumer. Well, doTERRA came in and said no more of that, and they just took out that entire middle process. And so with doTERRA, it goes a little different. It goes farmer to distiller to doTERRA to significant testing, and then it will get to the consumer. So that is part of their process to make sure that everything's pure. So those are those 4 pillars of why doTERRA is significant. They actually paid this company, Verify Markets, to go out and do some research about the forecast of the market of essential oils in coming years. So These were the forecasted revenues of just the essential oil market. So you can see it starts at 2017 up to 2024. And just this market alone is forecasted to grow from a $2 million market up to a $10 million market. So that has a really large growth rate. And you can see that the growth, when it's going to be the largest percentage wise, is in these few years that we're in right here. So it kind of breaks down all the different categories there for you on the right. And then there is a revenue forecast for North America. This is for essential oils in general. So the whole big market out there, the forecast is that doTERRA is going to have 42% of that pie, as you can see. Young Living is slotted to have 28.6% of the pie. And then we've got 24.3% that is going to, I might be saying that opposite. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the colors wrong. doTERRA's got the 28.6%. Young Living has the 24. And then the 42.3 is basically all of the other oil companies that are out there. And then you can see those two little slivers. There is Acacia, I think is how you say it. They're sold in Whole Foods, the little blue sliver. And then the yellow sliver is, maybe you pronounce it Sage Natural Wellness. I never heard of them, but that just kind of gives you an idea of the revenue forecast for North America, and it shows you doTERRA's current share. And then we've got the revenue forecast all the way up to the year 2024. So really the point in looking at all of this is that you can see and understand this isn't a market that's going away. It is a market that's continuing to grow. They have forecasted that doTERRA will have an added growth to the market share, and that addition is going to come from the APRC validity. And then there's another 10% added growth due to healthcare and research. And so this is the forecast for, doTERRA's revenue and the added growth. So if they did nothing different than they're doing right now, the forecast is for them to grow up to $3 billion by the year 2024, that very bottom green line. So that's just what's expected to happen if doTERRA changes nothing. Well, if doTERRA continues to grow with just people understanding this APRC validity that's being provided of the third-party testing, then it's forecasted for the growth to grow up to $4.06 billion by 2024. And then we've got this additional with the healthcare and research that's being done. The projected growth is up to $5.11 billion by 2024. So that is really what they're expecting, where they're expecting to be at. And then this is their added growth for the market share. So again, if they did nothing different, they're expecting that their market share would be $4.16 billion by 2024. But with the added growth projected for APRC and the healthcare research, it brings us all the way up to $10.63 billion of the market share. So definitely set and slotted to grow, grow, grow. So these are doTERRA's current markets all over the world. You can see where they are. And these are markets that are set to open up soon. So why doTERRA now versus 10 years ago? And it's really because now there's all these amazing support materials. When the people that started 10 years ago, they didn't have any of that. So we've got Empowered Success, which is all of our training tools. We have a better website. There's podcasts. There's amazing leader material. Our product offering, we have so many more oils and products and blends and soft gels and supplements and personal care and home care. Versus 10 years ago, there was much, much less. Now we've got experienced leaders and support staff. We have a great track record of just delivering up to being a $2 billion company And what's the most exciting to me is that we are in the largest growth phase of the company, is what's ahead. That is what's coming. So here's why they believe that we've got these keys for success. The role of the company is to cultivate our culture. They have the sustainably sourced pure and potent oils, exceptional complementary products, professional support staff, and quality materials. They're committed to developing and maintaining world-class systems and processes for ordering and delivering commission checks. And they want to exemplify integrity, and they have a great deal of loyalty to our leaders. And then what they would like our role to be in all of that is that we live the doTERRA culture by sharing and caring for others. We experience the products daily, so we're really a product of the product by using it in our daily life. That we would passionately teach, train, educate on essential oil usage, purity, potency, and sustainability, supporting others in the efforts to share, developing future leaders, and that we would also exemplify integrity. And part of that is supporting the company. So here is the part that I really want to talk about. This is this big wave that is coming towards us, and where a lot of the growth is coming from. So they are opening up, well, some of them are actually open. There's one clinic that's open now, Prime Meridian Health Clinics. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what this is. So here's the status of affairs in particularly the US. Most people don't think that they need a doctor until they are actually sick. And doTERRA with Prime Meridian, their viewpoint is that they want you to see a doctor to keep you from getting sick, to really take a look at proactive healthcare. So this was doTERRA's original mission statement. They were committed to sharing the life-enhancing benefits of therapeutic-grade essential oils and essential oil enhanced wellness products with the world. And then they had all of these points of how they would do that by points 1 through 4. Well, this fifth part is what is really being added on now, that a part of their mission is bringing together healthcare professionals of traditional and alternative medicine to encourage further study and application of therapeutic grade essential oils in modern healthcare practices. This is what I'm so excited about. So there are really large differences in life expectancy and healthcare spending across all of these developed countries. And you can kind of see this graph here is showing you where these different countries kind of land on it. Well, we in the US are like one of the lowest quality, lower health expectancy. But then you can see we're way, way right on the spending. So the line on the bottom is the amount of money spent on healthcare. And then the lines going up is the life expectancy at birth and how many years. So we are spending the most on healthcare, and yet we're having a really low life expectancy compared to a lot of these other countries. And that to me is just a sign of, something's broken. And I think we can all acknowledge that. And I love that doTERRA is trying to be a part of the answer. So this was a quote from Hippocrates: if someone wishes for good health, one must first ask oneself if he or she is ready to do away with the reasons for their illness. Only then is it possible to help them. And I love that, because oftentimes it's what we're doing to ourselves, whether we realize it or not, that is really impacting our health. Those decisions that we make about what we put in our body and on our body and the environment that we're in. So change is coming. Woohoo! So excited. You can join an exciting healthcare movement with us that incorporates integrative medicine and a membership model to provide an experience that puts the patient and their wellness first. So this is the vision of Prime Meridian Health Clinics: to lower healthcare costs and improve patient outcomes by incorporating essential oils and other integrative approaches into the allopathic healthcare system. One, they want to implement a patient-centric clinical healthcare model that utilizes integrative medicine. And two, they want to prove through research that the efficacy and cost savings of essential oils. Sorry, got a little tongue-tied. So their objectives are to have that integrative approach to healthcare, to lower healthcare costs, improve accessibility and ease of access, and improve healthcare outcome by really focusing on the whole person. The Prime Meridian providers, they're going to be board certified, licensed family practice or primary care physicians. They will be an MD or a DO. They will also have nurse practitioners and physician assistants. And they are going to be supportive of using essential oils and other evidence-based integrative treatments. So this is really going to be a place where Eastern medicine meets Western medicine. They are still looking for staff. So if you have a qualified medical professional that you know that you can refer, you can send them to this website, healthcare.doterra.com. And then this is kind of just a look at what does it look like currently for us in the medical field. There's an average of 6 minutes per visit that the doctor has to be with their patient. A lot of the treatment is episodic treatment, meaning something's going on, right? There really isn't a patient relationship. Many people that are older, when they were younger, actually knew their doctor personally, and that doctor had a relationship with their family. So that's non-existent now. It is allopathic medicine. It is time-consuming. Doctors get paid by the number of patients that they see. And medical insurance is really dictating the approach and dictating the level of healthcare that people get. So this is what dōTERRA is wanting to do with Prime Meridian. Offer 30 to 60 minutes for a visit for the doctor to actually sit with the patient. That it will be whole person treatment, meaning they'll be focused on how to keep you well, not just dealing with one particular episode and trying to figure out what's going on with that. Really trying to have overall health. There will be a relationship. It will be a doctor who knows you. They're going to have holistic and alternative treatments available. There will be telemedicine as well as online scheduling. They're going to increase the overall outcome of patients' health, and there will be no insurance between you and the doctor. They're just taking the insurance out of it. Prime Meridian has primary care and secondary care. So the Prime Meridian is going to be Prime Meridian is the primary care, which is going to be focused on preventing disease and not really just, treating acute illness. And that will be delivered through a provider who knows you and understands your health needs. And then there's going to be this secondary care that really is your catastrophic coverage. So that might be something that comes through, like it's for the ER and things like that. That might be something that comes through the medical insurance field still. So Prime Meridian is going to kind of work like a gym. There will be a membership fee. So this is the breakdown of what those fees are going to look like. For an individual, it would be $99 a month. And then you can see all the way up to a family of 4, it will be $198 a month. And then there will be $15 for each additional child that you add on to that. So that's pretty amazing. That means for me, for my family of 5, I can have great health care for $213 a month. That is less than I pay for my insurance through my work. So that is a fantastic deal. And then if you're a dōTERRA wellness advocate, you'll actually get a 10% discount. So even better. So what does this mean for you, for the person that is doing this as a business, for the wellness advocate? You're going to have validation of essential oils through research and standardization. You'll be able to increase the growth of your team. There will be an exposure to a new demographic of people. Decommoditize our oils. So doTERRA becomes the gold standard through all of this and create a large groundswell of movement, just like in 2008 when they started. So if you ever had that thought, man, I wish I was with doTERRA when they very first started, I would have loved to be a part of that. This is your opportunity, folks. This is it. The second wave is coming, and it's really exciting. So let's talk about the next 30 cities that are coming with these Prime Meridian health clinics. So these are our phase 1 cities. You can see there's 2 stars of where medical clinics are currently open. So there's one in Utah and one over in Nashville, Tennessee. And then we've got the ones that have been announced. There's another one in Pleasant Grove, Utah that's been announced. And I know that they actually have announced one in Phoenix. So coming soon is Phoenix, Riverside, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and Atlanta. So I know a lot of the people that are on this call are down in Southern California. So this is the time to get on board, get your ducks in a row, and be ready to support when that LA one gets open. So super, super cool. And then let's talk about the cities that are coming after that. So the phase 2 cities, whoop, whoop, I'm super excited. I'm here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So San Francisco is going to be part of phase 2, as well as San Diego and Sacramento. And for the rest of the West Coast, we've got Portland and Seattle. And then you can see you've got a couple of them coming in the middle of America, and then one over in DC. And then our phase 3 cities out in Honolulu, Vegas, Boise, and then we've got a lot more growth on the East Coast because phase 1 and 2 has a lot of that West Coast growth in it. And then these are just the top 30 cities, a look at all of them together at once. So they said that all of this, their goal is that all of this will be completed and all of these medical clinics will be open within 5 years or less. So it's definitely something that's happening sooner rather than later. Super excited about it. So are you guys ready to catch that next wave? I hope that you are. I hope that you can really see this exciting opportunity that has been laid before you to not only be partnered with the #1 essential oil company in the world, but to be partnered with this company that is ready to go and disrupt healthcare. Like, this is huge. I want to talk a little bit about this Prime Wellness Club. So doTERRA has what's called a Founders Club. They open up a Founders Club for every single country that they are open and running in. And it's usually just a select amount of numbers that are available, usually right around 25 or so slots. And they require people to hit a certain rank within the company and maintain that rank in order to be a part of that Founders Club. So the Founders Club for like the US and Canada was closed long ago. There are some countries that still have openings in their Founders Club, but obviously places that are really established like the US, it's closed. And those people that are in that club, they get to share 1% of the earnings for that doTERRA has for their country amongst the group that's in it. So if we are a $2 billion company, you know, just kind of get your mind around what 1% of the earnings would be. And then you're divvying it up against with a really small pool of people. So what doTERRA has just recently announced is they are actually opening up what's called a Prime Wellness Club. So it's a very similar idea to a Founders Club. They've got 300 positions that are going to be available, and those 300 positions are being split into 4 groups. The annual qualification period for this club has already started as of March 1st, and it's going to run through February 29th of 2020. So there's 3 types of rewards. One is priority seating. The other is getting to go on these co-impact sourcing trips. And then the third is a share payout. So like I mentioned, a percentage of those profits getting divvied up amongst the people that are in the club. So here's how those 300 positions are going to be divvied up. So you can see 1 through 100, they are getting the seating, and they're getting to choose between the co-impact sourcing trip or the share payout. And then 101 through 200, they're getting the trip or the share payout. And then 201 through 300 is just getting the payout. For the Prime Wellness founders, the top 25 qualifiers in each year that this is open, so they're only going to have it open for 4 years, get to be wellness founders, meaning they are in the club and they are not getting kicked out. So the top 25 people for this year will have those first founders positions. And then going into the next year, there will be 275 slots open for this founders club. The top 25 of year 2 will get to hold those positions, and you can see it's going all the way up to year 4. So there'll be a total of 100 people in this 4-year span that have a permanent Prime Wellness founder position. They've made it so that these other openings, it's kind of like up for grabs, and it'll be something that, you know, will be rotated, which is kind of nice because it doesn't necessarily mean it's always the same people that will be there. But if you get to be in that top 25, if you earn it, then you'll get to have it forever, which is awesome. So the shares are going to be funded by whatever is larger. So it's either going to come from 1% of the revenue growth increase from US and Canada, or it will be 1% of the Prime Meridian revenue from US and Canada. So it is going to be a very significant bonus. And again, this company is just generous. They're generous in everything they do. And I love that it's going to be funded by whichever is larger. I feel like a lot of companies would say, by whichever is smaller. We'll keep the greater piece for ourselves, but not doTERRA. They always want to give you the best. I love it. So here's how you qualify for that. Points are earned on people that you enroll. So like I said, the enrollment period started in March, and it's going to roll through February. So you get 2 points for each person that you enroll with 100 PV to 249 PV. If you enroll them with 250 plus, then you get 3 points. And then if they actually get a loyalty order set up and going for each month that it's 100 PV or more, you get 2 points for each month of that as well. So really, if somebody ordered one with one of our standard kits, like the Family Essentials, you would be getting, and then they did the loyalty rewards for 3 months in a row, you would be getting 6 points for that person. So these slots will be given away based on whoever has the highest points. And we do have an incentive trip this year to Hawaii. And so the incentive trip runs on this same basis. This is how you qualify for the incentive trip. And they're actually letting you double dip. So this year all of your points will be qualifying you for the incentive trip as well as the Prime Wellness Founders Club, which is pretty cool. And just ending here with this quote from Dumbledore: "It is our actions far more than our ability that determines what we may become." So I hope that you are inspired to take some action with me. Before I completely wrap it up, I just want to touch on this amazing opportunity that is going on for Latinos. There is a North American language Spanish Founders Club. I know that is quite a mouthful. So from here forth, I'm just going to refer to it as NALS. I mentioned to you about the founders clubs that have been established before, right? So they are opening up a new founders club that's specific for Spanish speakers. The cool thing is you don't actually have to speak Spanish to be a founder in this club. But your organization that you grow does need to be Spanish speaking. So in founders clubs, they typically get, like I mentioned before, 1% of doTERRA profits divided amongst the people that are in the founders club. This year, they're going to be giving 2% of the profits just for this year. And then the years after that, it will go back to the 1%. There's currently 25 slots open. And just to kind of give you a picture of that, if we are a $2 billion company right now, 2% of our profits is $4 million. When you divide that by 25 people, it's a bonus of $160,000 per founder for year one. And then looking at it for year two, it would be $80,000 per founder. Obviously, that's putting us at $2 billion. We're a little more than $2 billion now, and we're projected to go up to $5 billion in just the next couple of years. So this can be a really significant bonus. And you guys, like, this is for life. Once you've qualified and you're in this founders club, it's forever. So could you handle a $80,000 bonus per year for the rest of your life? Are you okay with that? The coolest thing about this is a founder for this club only has to be the rank of gold. That is amazing. Normally, they have to be a really much higher rank like diamond. And I realize a lot of you on this call might not have a big understanding about ranks or what that even means, but I just want to show you what gold means. So to be a gold, you're this big circle on the top. It means you have 3 people underneath you that are ranked as premier. In order to be ranked as premier, it means you have 2 people under you that are each bringing in a monthly volume of $2,000. And then you have $1,000 that's coming from somewhere else, not necessarily from those 2 legs. So your total organization as a premier is $5,000 in sales minimum. And it has to be structured like this. At least 2 of the legs have 2,000, and then the extra 1,000 can come from anywhere else. So this is totally doable to become a gold, especially when you're looking at such a huge bonus. The key to doing this and qualifying for this Founders Club, the founders can live in any country and they can speak any language and be enrolled at any time, but they have to be in good standing with doTERRA. Here's the key. If you're wanting to do this, the 3 people have to be personally enrolled by you that are qualifying as those premier legs, and they have to be Spanish speakers and enrolled on or after 8/1/18. So for those of you that are just starting in this business, the date is irrelevant because you'll already match that. But the person that you're enrolling, they have to have Spanish as their preferred language. If you have an account of somebody who speaks Spanish, but they're not currently enrolled as a Spanish speaker, that's something that can be changed pretty easily. And then all of the new volume and 90% of the overall volume that comes from their customers needs to be Spanish language preferred. So meaning that they've designated themselves in the doTERRA system as a Spanish speaker. You have to have 3 consecutive months as gold, and those qualifying premier legs. And then after that, you have to have the rank of gold for 10 out of the 12 months during the calendar year. And these are just kind of all the nitty-gritty details. Again, like I said, there's 25 spots available. But what I just want to point out is it's a huge bonus. It's really not that hard to attain. And if you happen to be in a world where you have a lot of Spanish speakers, this might be an exciting opportunity for you. So if you are ready to get started and you're not yet signed up as a wellness advocate, please contact me. This is a link directly to my calendar. Here's my website, phone number, and email. So you have all the details that you need. And I'd love to just open it up if anybody has any questions. I'm super happy to answer them. Feel free to unmute yourself. My video is weird. I don't know why it's so weird. Otherwise, if you don't have questions, we will say good night, but I'm happy to help.
So, hi, peace and
Hi.
blessings to everyone. This is Brother Sid. So my question is this. So the case is that one has to have a downline before one can get into the Prime Meridian Health Clinic aspect?
No. So that's a really good question. If
So could you
you're
maybe
looking,
talk a little bit more about how that might operate? Because I'm really interested in being an owner in that space and
yeah,
understanding how that can move and operate. Yes. Thank you.
absolutely. So it's available to anyone, the Prime Meridian, just like you could go to like a private doctor's clinic right now. So anyone can be a part of that clinic and pay the monthly membership fee and get those benefits. So where this is really an awesome opportunity for us as doTERRA wellness advocates is the doctors and the medical staff that work there are not allowed to be wellness advocates. They are not allowed to have an opportunity to benefit financially from doTERRA because they are the ones that are recommending the products from a medical perspective. So this is where we come in that we can help these patients, especially the ones that don't have an account with doTERRA. We can help them get started. From what I understand right now, they will be provided a list of wellness advocates in their area in order to figure out who to contact to get whatever oils or other types of products that might have been recommended by the doctor that they saw. So that's where we really stand to be a part of this big wave of growth. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's a lot more people in my current life that are fed up with the medical system as it is right now and are ready for it to be disrupted. They are ready for change, and they might not necessarily be open or ready for essential oils. But if they are in that new medical clinic and they are talking with a medical professional who is telling them, this is what will help them, and here is exactly how you use it. There's like a medical standard for how you use this oil. Then they're going to be a lot more likely to turn to one of us for the help and support that they need. So that's to me where it's very exciting. And then there's also this element, if you are a doTERRA wellness advocate, you can be a member of the Prime Meridian Medical Clinic and get a 10% discount. So obviously it's anybody that wants to be a part of the clinic can be a part of the clinic, but there's zero requirement for you to have like a doTERRA account. Does that make sense?
It does, and I actually would like to continue this conversation with someone regarding being an owner. I've been in this space for a long time and very, very strong advocate for the type of change that doTERRA wants to be about.
Yeah.
And I'm also very interested in doing it from the perspective of a peer support advocate, a person who's organizing and activating this space and making certain that it's the place where, clients are being able to remain their own expert, even in this space. So, yeah, I'd love to be able to continue this conversation with the appropriate people. So I'm clear about the types of investments that need to be made to materialize this.
Awesome, Sid. Well, we will do our best to get you connected to the right people to talk to about, but I'm so glad that you're able to see the exciting opportunity that's here. And man, right, I think a lot of us, it resonates that we're ready for change. We're ready for things to be done different. And it's pretty cool. It's coming. The one thing I will tell you guys, so I didn't mention this in the beginning, but I've been with doTERRA for just a little shy of 6 years now. And ever since I've been with doTERRA, I've gone to every single convention. I've even had a couple of more intimate one-on-one experiences with several of the owners. And not only have I always found them to be just full of integrity, really upstanding people, but everything that they have ever said that they were going to do, they have done. Especially anything they've announced publicly. They are very, very strategic, and they don't say they're going to do something unless it's going to happen. So when they said that they were going to be $1 billion company in 10 years, and then they did it in 8, it was like, yeah, that's who I've seen them to be. They set their goal, they say what they're going to do. Not only do they hit their goal, but oftentimes they hit it even before they were expecting to. So you can really rest assured that they are going to do this, and that people are going to be talking about it, right? This is huge, because right now, like, I see a private doctor for my children, just because I haven't found what I'd like out there in a pediatrician in the mainstream sector with insurance running everything. So I pay, like, my first appointment for my daughter was $500 and something just for one appointment, just for, like, as a well check. And then her second appointment after that was like 200 and something. So can you imagine paying like $200 for your whole family? And you guys, you get unlimited access to them. You can make an appointment whenever you want. So super, super exciting. I could talk all night, as you can tell, but I will stop myself and just be respectful of your time. So unless there's any more questions, I'm going to end things here and just say thanks for your time.
So is the next step going to be someone reach out to me, or are you going to send me some more documents, some more links? That would be great. Whatever the next step is, please do let me know by email or text, and I'm really looking forward to understanding more.
Absolutely. Sid, I have your number, and I'll be sure to follow up with you via text, and we'll have a private conversation to kind of guide you the right way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Be well. Peace to
Okay, you too. Bye, Sid.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks again for showing up. I did record this, so I will post the recording on Facebook. Good night.